Hello guys, today I'm going to share some video of you how to save images to our SQL Server database using C#. Okay, I just created my C# project and just save image to SQL Server, and here we have the default form, just the default form. Okay, as you can see, no other extra are added. Now let's design the form for a bit. Let's drag some two button, copy paste it, let's say drag that one, and then text box, then here the properties, let's just change this into save, and then this one into browse. Okay, and then let's add some picture box to tell that we are already adding the image. Okay, in the picture box, as you can see, there is like a play button in here. Just clicking this, and then at the size mode, let's say it's going to stretch the image just to fit it in the size of the picture box. Okay, now we are done designing on the form, but before that I'm going to show you my database for a bit. Here I am now at my SQL Server Management Studio Express in my tutorial database because I'm going to use this one. And then at the, as you notice in here, I have my image table. This is the table I'm going to use. Okay, I'm going to show you the properties of my image table. In my image table, I have my, let's say, I have two columns in here. One is ID and one is my image. The data type of ID is int, and this one is in auto number in the here. If you want to make the int as an auto number, you can just go into the identity specification, and then if you click this identity yes, it will be auto number, and then identity increment, and just need to increment by 1. Okay, and then the my image data type is binary, var binary max, because stored image is being stored as byte, not the image itself. So literally, image is not being saved into the database just like or just the image itself, but we need to convert it to binary or bytes and save that bytes to our database. Okay, I guess that's enough. Let's go back now to our program. Let's check my let me check a bit if okay, no record added. Now we're done designing the form, and let's drag some open file dialog. Just drag it into the form. Okay, that's it. Once the open file dialog is there, it's okay. Now go to the browse button. Okay, as you can see, I already added my using system.data.SQL client. This is just the imports. Yes. If you don't have this kind of import, you can just type it again. Using system.data.SQL client for the SQL Server, and then input output using for the converting or the file stream. Later on, you will see what this works, or the work of the system.io. Now, once we declare our imports, we're going to declare our SQL connection. Just going to declare it outside the just a global for the public class form1 SQL connection con was the new SQL connection. Okay, as you can see in here guys, it says 1 of 2, but if I press the scroll down button, I can already specify the string connection string. So I'm just going to specify the connection string in it already. So this one will be data source is equals to dot or dot comma, yes, and then 1626 the initial catalog. Just to make this a bit the code easier to read, and then initial catalog, user ID, then okay, this is how we declare the SQL connection. Data source is the dot, which means my computer 1626, the port I am using for my SQL Server 2005. Initial catalog tutorial, the name of my database. User ID, this is the credential of my SQL Server authentication. I'm not going to explain this or anymore, not so much, because it is always being explained in my previous video. So if you want another explanation or further explanation about this, you can just browse my other video about it. Okay, now we are done in the private or the SQL connection. Now let's go back into the private void button 1 underscore click. Just click inside the code, the block of code, and then in here let's type here if open file dialog 1 that show dialog is equals to dialog result that okay. As you can see here, guys, if open file dialog that show dialog is equals to dialog result that okay, that once we press the OK button of the open file dialog, code inside in this will be executed inside the if condition here in the highlighted area. So what are we going to execute once we press the OK button? We're going to get the full path of the image, and then you're going to display the picture into our picture box. Alright, so to do that, txt image or text box 1, since I did not rename it, that text equals to get the path, you're just going to click the path. As you can see here, guys, this is a class system.io.path. So if I did not place the import system.io, I'm just going to type it as complete like this. So like that. Just to make it a bit simpler, I'm just going to use the path that okay, get full path, and then open file dialog 1 that file name. At the file name, it says returns the absolute or the file name, get or set the extract containing file name selected in the file dialog box, which means that I'm going to get the file name of the file that I open using the file open dialog. Okay, and then let's set the store the path into the text box. Okay, now once you store the path into the text box, we're going to display the picture into the picture box. So to do that, display the picture to the picture box. Picture box 1, since I did not rename it, this is the default name, is equals to text box 1 dot text. Oops. Okay, now we're done on the part of the code. Let's check our program if it's really displaying the path into the text box and displaying the picture in the text box. oops, I have misspelled in here. That should be initial catalog, but I forgot to place the I. Okay, forgot to place the I. It said initial. That should be initial. So I guess that's a typographic error. Okay, at the browse button, I'm just going to go into the pictures, into my pictures, and then let's open my picture like that. Just bear with my picture. Okay, and then we get the path, we display the picture, and I guess our code is working. Now let's go to the thing that we should do, the saving picture into our database. Okay, but before that, let's create a method that convert the picture into bytes. So okay, to do that, let's create a new byte convert to byte method, then the source path, string source path. This is the parameters of our convert to byte. We're going to get the source path. Okay, and then once we created the method, this is the method. As you can see here, save image, not all code paths have returned a value, so later on this will be, or this kind of error will be vanished, or will vanish. So now let's go to the coding. First thing we need to do, we're going to get the file size, get the byte file size of the picture. To do that, we're going to use the file info. F info is equals to new file info source path okay, and then add the long, or let's say integer na lang, int is equals to convert that to int 16. That should be not like that, because it may come an error. Let's just declare it as long f info dot length. Okay, now we already get the size of the picture using the file info. Oops, I did forget size byte. Get the size byte of the file info using the file info. You notice I use long because finfo.length is in the long format. A while ago I was thinking if I would convert this into integer, but it may cause an error later, so I just use the long already. Okay, now once we have get the size of the byte, we're going to read the file using file stream. So file stream fs equals new file stream. That should be file stream like that. Okay, and the new file stream, we have different kinds of parameters we need in order that. You notice we are at the 1 of 15. We are going to use the 6 of 15 at the string fat, the file mode, and the file access. The string fat I'm going to get using the source path, the file mode, so file mode that open, and then at the file access. Here we are the 6 of 15 file access, so type here file access that read. Here we're going to use the read. Okay. Now, once you read the file using the file stream, we're going to read it again as byte using binary reader. So for the binary reader, br goes to new binary reader fs. Okay, that's here, guys. Now convert the picture to byte already. So to do that, image, or should be byte data br dot read bytes. It says int count, or read the count bytes from the current stream. So it will convert the file stream and read it depending on the int count. So since we get the size of the byte, we are going to read it depending on the size of the picture. So we are going to use the size byte here, and then we will read what the file stream have readed. So to do that, since that is long, just going to convert this as int and then size byte. Okay, and then now since this is a method byte, we're going to return data. Okay, that's it, guys. We have now done on the creating the method that convert the picture into the bytes. So what should be the next? Let's go back into the form1.cs. At the save button, double click on it. The save button. Save image to database. Okay. Click on the try. Let's create a new try catch here. Catch exception ex. Going to display if ever or any exception have been caught. So to do that, message box that show ex.toString. Okay, now let's go to the coding now. For the coding, since we are going to update the database, we need to open the database. So open the database, con.open. Data table dt is equals to new data table SQL data.da. Here are the parameters, SQL command text and the SQL connection. So the SQL command text at the SQL data wrapper, I'm going to use 3 of 4. So select asterisk from, no, I forgot the table. Oh, it's image table. From image table. Okay. And then da.fill dt. Now we have done loading the image table. Okay, let's create a new row. Create a new row that will be added. And the new row, data row r is equals to dt.new row. At the r1, as you notice, I use r and the index is 1 because in here in index the index is start at 0, so index 0 and then index 1. But if count, this will be 1 and then 2. But since it is index, like I said a while ago, it started at 0, so index 0 is ID, index 1 is my image, so I'm going to add the index 1. Image 1 is equals to the method. What is the method a while ago? That is convert to byte, and then the source path. Since we declare the source path in the text box, so text box 1.text, then okay, and then here specify records to save, and then add the row to the data table. To do that, dt.rows.add r. Okay, now once you have add the row into the data table, you're going to update the database. So to update the database, SQL command builder cb command builder da, and then da.update dt. Okay, this is the code to update the database, and then to close the connections, close the connection. Oops, that should be close. Okay, and then let's prompt the user that the saving is already done. Message box.save, or message box.show, I mean, let's say picture save into the database. Okay, that's it, guys. This is the simple code on how to save images to our database by converting it into a binary. Now let's test our code if it's working. So let's click on the debug button. Let's browse some picture. Okay, let's browse my picture again, and then click save. Picture saved into the database. Okay, let's check our database. As you can see here, guys, this is the binary data, which means the picture is being saved as binary, and I guess our code is working. Okay, thanks again for watching, guys, and feel free, if you have questions, feel free to leave comments, and if you think the video is helpful to you, subscribing to my channel would be appreciated. And thank you, guys, for watching again. Bye, and Merry Christmas also, and Happy New Year.